Okay, hi sisters. How's everyone doing this evening? It's Diva's Talk Time. So grab your tea, your coffee, your wine, your beverage of choice, and let's talk. I'm sorry that I'm late. I'm saying that a lot up here on this channel, but I keep forgetting that I'm supposed to use a computer to actually log on live with you guys. So um, just give me a moment to get that instilled inside of me that I have to use a laptop or a computer to talk to you guys until we get 1,000 subscribers. I have been enjoying our talks and our time together. Hello, everyone. Hey, Renee, my faithful sister. How are you? Hi, Susan. Yeah, looks may be deceiving. My mom taught me that you can feel like the worst thing in the world, but you don't allow everyone to see you at your worst. And you may not have a dime to your name, but carry yourself like you have $1,000,000. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to put this iPad up here, but carry yourself like you have $1,000,000. Um, Hi, Roy. Um, I had my visit with my home health nurse today, and whew, I'm gonna tell you, last night, my canister. Kiona, you didn't even bring the thing over here. What? My thing. I need you to bring this to me. Last night, my canister. I'm gonna pop you right in your mouth if you don't come do what I told you to do. Whew, that little girl is a handful. I love her to death, but thank you. So I don't know if I showed you guys this right here yet, but this is my vac, and it is what supposed to help heal my stomach, and it has a battery charge. I have to charge it. So I have to charge it. Let me take it out of the case. I have to charge it because it runs by battery, and I can't. I'm always forgetting that I'm tethered to this thing, so sometimes I pull it and it hurts more. But it's this, and then it's a tubing that runs all the way down to my stomach, and it has this white foam and black foam in there, and it sucks out all the infection or infectious material and all that, and it's supposed to help promote the healing, and it does, but it hurts right now, and the doctors only gave me Tramadol, so which is a really glorified Tylenol. So I have a call into the doctor to hi, Deborah. I don't think I spoke to you. I have a call in with the doctor to see about getting me some stronger pain meds. But last night, this canister filled up, and when it had filled up, the alarm start going off on it, and it'll tell you up here what needs to be done. And so that was going off, and it was telling me that the canister was full and that I needed to replace the canister. And I wasn't really sure about, actually, I was sure about how to do it, but it was just the fact that I wanted all my tubing and everything to be new today. And if I would have changed it out, I would have had old tubing right here at the top and the new tubing down here at the bottom. And I wanted all of it to be new tubing. And so I had to take this back off. and I had to remove the black foam and the white foam, and then I had to take gauze, oh my god, and pack that the incision site area. And I'm not for sure if I showed you guys what it looks like on this channel, but let me see if I have any pictures on this one right here, so I can show you guys on this one what it looks like. Girl, this is one of my favorite pictures of my husband and me right here. I love this picture of us. I really do. Yeah, I do need some good pain meds. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Deborah, but I'm glad to know that I'm glad. Yeah, thank you, Susan. Yeah, I love this picture of us. And I keep saying I'm going to get it blew up, and I keep forgetting, but I'll get it. I'm trying to show you guys. No, I don't want to sign in right now. I want to go to, let me see if I have any pictures right here. Guys, I have never, ever, ever wanted a tattoo. And I saw this tattoo right here. And I fell in love with it. And this is the only tattoo I want to get. I want to get this. Come on. Right here. And everybody say it's going to hurt because it's on the side of the foot. But I don't know if you can see what it says. It says, "He walks with me. He walketh with me." And it has a cross. I don't even know if that's part of the design, those two little heart things, but I want that's the only tattoo I want right there. And I've never wanted a tattoo before I saw that one. And so I'm gonna get that tattoo put on. Get that tattoo done. Okay. So it doesn't look like my camera on my phone has updated and put the pictures that I've been taking up here. Oh, wait. So I have to let you guys know that this is a graphic picture, and so mesh or anything like that, you may want to turn your head from it. So this is what it looked like when they packed it right here. And I had to do that last night, and it was gross. And that's another picture of it packed right there before I got the pump. And that's what it looks like right there without the patches or anything in it. That's what it looks like. So it's open just like that. And then that's another picture right here. That's my belly button right now. So yeah, this is easy. So let me see if I can find the picture that I took today. But yes, it's like whoo, have to pack it. It's like it hurts. Like I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. But um I don't know what that is right. But I took on my phone today, haven't uploaded to my web thing. Yeah, Deborah, it does. Thank you, Renee. But yes, I'm in pain, but I I'm kind of like trying to deal with the pain because I have my grandchildren here and they forever asking me, Yaya, are you okay? Yaya, do you need anything? Yaya, you sure you okay? Yaya, what's wrong? And I don't want to break down in front of them because then they'll start crying. So the title that I have today was, thank you, Deborah. It is well. I think if you know anything about the word, they say it is well. It's what God said. It's what Jesus said when he was on the cross, and he said it is well, and he was telling his mom and his family, not to worry about him because he's okay. He was going to be okay. And so I wanted to tell you guys that even with everything that's going on with me, with the surgeries and the hospital stays and all that, I try to keep. Yes, Susan, mine's come too. She comes Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Susan says she had one of these and her nurse came 3 times a week. Um and yeah, so she said it was very, and yeah, mine's come Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Matter of fact, the lady that came the first time, I don't think she was as efficient as the lady that came today. The one that came today, she was real efficient. She talked to me, told me why she was bandaging me the way she was. She told me that I needed to rest, I need to stay in bed, I don't need to be going up and down the steps. I don't need to be bending over. I mean, she was just real attentive to me and me as a patient, and making sure that the wound, she packed the wound where it would cause me the least amount of pain. And so when I get good and stuff, I tend to want to keep that person. So I called the agency and asked the agency if they would consider her coming to me every week. I mean, permanently until everything is good. And they said anywhere from 6 weeks to 8 weeks. And I'm okay with that, because most of the time I don't go anywhere anyway. Most of the time I'm home, not unless I have a doctor's appointment. And the only thing that, like I was worried about, and I think I told you guys this already, was the fact my class reunions next month, and I had particular clothes to wear, and I won't be able to wear those clothes anymore, just because of the back being attached to me. And so yeah, so that's just the only downfall. So back to it is well. So as you know, Jesus said that it is well. He was telling his mom, and he was telling his believers and his followers that he was going to be okay, that things may seem like it's bleak and that it's never going to get better, but he was letting them know in that sentence that it would, that one day the sun is going to shine back on you. You're going to, I can imagine that's what he was telling his mom. Mom, it may look bad right now, but in a few months or years, the sun is going to shine back on you again. I understand that, you're hurt because you're losing your child. And so I can imagine, and that one sentence, it is well, is all the things that he was telling his family, especially his mom, about him being okay. He's not going to be on this cross forever, that he's not going to that he's not going to be in this pain forever. That, you know, when he lay his head down, um and it's over, he is that's the last friend that he's going to have to do. So I know that we individuals have major problems sometimes, and we have problems touched to the that sometimes we commit suicide, sometimes we commit crimes, um, because at that particular moment in time, you feel like there's no hope, there's no um, resolve. You're not going to have any resolve, and if you have resolve, it's going to be on a negative sense. So what I would like for you guys to start thinking about is when you get into those situations where it feels like the end of the world is here, and you don't have anywhere else to turn. Just remember to turn back to those lines that Jesus said before he passed away. You know, it is well. So yeah, you have to. Let's see. Renee said, wow, I just used that term this past week. My middle daughter was diagnosed with colon cancer. Oh my God, I'm sorry to hear that, Renee. Thursday, and my faith led me to tell her all is well. Told her, you have cancer. Cancer does not have. Yes, indeed, Renee. And prayers to you and your daughter. I know that there's a cancer institution, the one that has the commercial where the person takes the other person that has cancer somewhere, and it's one where the boy, his dad takes him out to a river, and he hollers and screams, and then they take him to the hospital. So if you can, she is 43. Oh, yeah, that's young. And so if she can get into one of those programs where it gets to stage 4, then go. I just lost my best friend. I know you guys know that, and she had lung cancer, and cancer is no joke. It's not anything to play with. I had cervical cancer before, but okay. I'm glad, because you know you got to be on top. Renee said that thanks for all the prayers, and that her daughter was going to Shalom in New York, and that she's gonna be on top of it. Yes, you have to, because if you don't, people don't care about. No, I can't say that. A lot of people don't care about you the way you're going to care for you. Now, I would have to say my last hospital, well, actually both of them, but this particular last hospital stay, it was phenomenal, because, and most people say phenomenal at a hospital, but yeah, because the level of care that was there for me was awesome. I mean, my nurses, when my nurses came in, when one came in, my afternoon nurse came in. One particular night, I had talked to her. I was telling her I wanted some grape juice, and so she went out and looked, and it wasn't any grape juice, but it was orange juice. So I asked her for that, and so I didn't know anything else about the grape juice. I think I ordered some for breakfast the next morning, and so when she came in to work, she said I was down in the cafeteria, and she said I didn't see any grape juice, but I saw a grape soda. And she said I was thinking about you. She said, can you have grape soda? I said, yeah, I can. So she said, well, I'm going downstairs and get you a grape soda. And she went into her own pocket, and she brought that grape soda for me. And I thought it was just so nice of her to, one, to have remembered something that a patient told her the night before, and two, to come and ask, if that's something I can have, and then three, to actually go and buy it out of her own pocket. And so it was just the level of care. Each time I had a nurse. The only time I had, it wasn't poor service, because the student nurse was there, and she and the head nurse that was training her pretty much made the student nurse do everything that night. She came in, she took my vitals, she gave me my meds, she did all of it. And the next day, um nurse was asking something wasn't done, and I said, well, no, I didn't see this particular nurse I saw her one time and that was it. And she said, really? I said, yeah. I said, student nurse been in here. I said, but she's been phenomenal. She's been doing everything, good for me, and so I don't really have any complaints. But I felt like the regular nurse, the charge nurse, was taking advantage of the student nurse, because the charge nurse just sat at the desk behind the computer, and no telling, they probably she probably put it on Facebook, because when I was doing my walk around, I saw a lot of the students that was on Facebook, but it was on the nursing Facebook page, but it was still on Facebook. So, oh, Renee asked me where I in the community hospital or the hospital. Well, I was on my way home from Durham, VA, when I received the call about me going to the ER because of I'm not gonna hold it back. I have a case of hemorrhoids, and I've never had them before in my life. I have this case, in this case right here. They was worried that the hemorrhoids had annualized or whatever on the outside, and that I needed emergency surgery for that. So they told me I could come back to Bern, or I can go to the regular hospital. So I chose to go to the regular hospital because it was easy on my family to get to me. So that's where I chose to go. And that I went for that, they took me right back. I mean, it was like the ER was packed that day. So I was expected to be, well, in the ER department for a long, long time. And, I couldn't even get in all the way before it was coming to get me and taking me back to a room. And they actually checked that, and I didn't have to have emergency surgery on that. It was great. And then they was like, I told them about my stomach and what was going on with it, and they looked at it and they immediately said, well, we waiting for the surgeon. We wait on the surgeon. So it was like they had already made a decision as soon as they saw me that they was going to do surgery on me. And my mindset, I was that the surgeon was just going to come and look. But yeah, they admitted me that day, and then the next day I had the surgery on my stomach. So yeah, I was in the community hospital. And yes, Susan, God will send us angels to guide us and to help us do those times where we feel like there's no end or no relief in sight. Rose says she had breast cancer, and Renee, don't give up. God is good, and He is safe, and He is able. Prayers for all. Um, so Renee, Roy sent you that, and Renee said, Roy, I'm not. She has 9-year old twins, need their mother. Yes, Lord. So I am doing everything to make sure she is here for them. Amen. And that's what a good parent would do. So is her twins girls, or she have a girl and a boy, or are they boys? They identical, fraternal. I mean, I know none of that matters, but we just sitting here talking, and I like to, when I do my prayers, I like for my prayers to be specific. And I would like to, say a prayer for, Renee's daughter and her 9-year-old twins. I like to do that. I like to, because they say one of each. Oh, yeah, that's a blessing. because in the word it said, write the vision and make it clear on what you asking and wanting for God. And so I've learned that you can't just say, like me. Prime example. I used to work at a prison, and I was a sergeant there. And when the new superintendent came, it just became a chaotic situation, a hostile, a hostile work environment. It became a point to where you hated to go to work, and it wasn't because of the inmates, it was because of staff. Your higher up levels will say don't believe anything an inmate says, and then you turn around, they got a snitch coming in the office, but they believe the snitch their staff. And so it was just crazy. And then captain pretty much you say sexually assaulted me. Well, not kind of, and he did. And when I reported it, everybody was mad at me, saying that I was messed up a man's life and all this. Renee, you have 3 sets of twins? Oh, twin twins. Your son have multiple. He has 2. Wow. Twins in my family as well, but like my mom had a set of twin boys before she had me, and they passed away. And then of course her last ones that she had were twin girls. And my one of them, a brother, just had a set of twins, a boy and a girl. So yes, twins run in my family too. And I was shocked when neither one of my mom's children or her children as of yet has had a set of twins. I know, right, Jen, Renee? I wished my twin have lived, because it would have been nice to have brothers older than you are that would protect you. But my sister, she did a real good job of that. It was this guy on the bus that was always messing with me, and I think he hit me one time in my eye, and my sister beat his tail. I mean, when she found out, she tore that joker up. So my sister, and then my brothers, they younger than me, but my brothers always treated me. You better get your thing up. What's that right there? Your allergies bothering you? Uh-oh. Hold on. My look, machine is beeping. Oh. No, hold on. For what, Kiana? Oh. Yes. The when it stops, the
thing
the cushion, the stuff that they have in it right here, it comes back out. And so when you start it again, it sucks it back in again, so it hurts all over again.
What's that?
The white?
Mm-hmm.
It's in my navel, sucking the stuff out my navel.
Oh, I thought that was the stuff that's getting left out.
It is. It is. But yeah, the machine went off saying that the therapy had been interrupted. And I don't know how long it had been interrupted before the machine started beeping, because when I turned it on, it was like,
yeah, can I use that tablet?
For what, Kiana?
YouTube on it.
No YouTube. You're not watching funny. You can get on Academy, the Academy thing, because like I said, you need to learn how to spell what? Take your finger out your mouth. What you gonna learn how to spell?
Um,
What's yours? You can't spell.
huh?
What's part of your name that you can't spell?
Dolphin.
All right. So you're gonna learn how to spell that. You're gonna learn how you're gonna be reading some. So Funny has to stand aside because I believe if you wasn't watching so much Funny at home or whatever show it was before you got out of school, that you would know how to spell your last name. And that's unacceptable because I know you're a very smart and very intelligent young lady, and you're not going to go to second grade not knowing how to spell your last part of your last name. Comprende?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you want to get on the academy on that, you can, but there's no internet, no Hulu, no what you call that thing? Netflix, no internet, no YouTube, and no Hulu. All right. Yeah, what happens in a few days? David, I'm not for sure what you're asking. Oh yes, Roy. Yeah, I'm fine. It sucks back down to let me see if I can show you guys. Like um this right here is what things look like. It has this black stuff that's in here. Kiana, go over there on the bed. Has this black foam right here and here, and it has white foam out of my navel. And you can see in my navel a little bit that it's starting to drain. And when the machine turns off, this black foam ends up coming back out. And when the machine come on again and suction, gonna turn it down, huh? It suction everything back in, and it does it fast, and it hurts really bad around it. Kiana, turn that down. Hurts really bad around here, real bad. And so yeah. So that's what I have tethered to me for 6 to 8 weeks. And Renee said she jumped from too. And Renee said true grandma want yes, because I know just you could get 5. I know my grandchildren, and I know how their mom is with their education, and I'm very very shocked that she has both her mom and her dad's last name on her name, and well, her and her brother and sister does, and she doesn't know how to spell the last part, which is her dad part, but her brother, who's younger than her, knows how to spell it. And it's unacceptable to me as far as not knowing how to spell your name and you're going to the second grade. And so, like I told her this summer, she will know how to do that. She will begin her reading in every day. And this is why the first 2 weeks she was here, she was able to look at TV, look at YouTube, and it's this um, show called Funny on it. And she would stay from sun up to sundown just watching Funny. And it's nothing educational about that at all. It's just her watching. And this is another thing I don't like about it. It is grown people talking like they're children, playing a child's video game. And I just think that is I don't know. I just think something is wrong with that. And so that's all she wanted to watch. But if she was watching Dora or something that she was getting something out of, like Dora, from the time that she was born up until probably to the time she just turned 7, they would watch Dora, and they know a lot of Spanish from looking at Dora. So if she was in the TV, in front of the TV watching Dora all day, then I would kind of understand that because she's learning something from it. But watching this funny show all day, and she is no educational benefits, No, And so she's been on punishment from YouTube and Hulu and Netflix. She's been on punishment for them for almost 2 weeks now, and she's gonna be on punishment from them until she can spell her last name. And I can see that she's reading at or above her second grade level. And then once I see that, then she could go back to her funny episodes. But yes. So going back to our topic, you have to know that that God has got your back. It may seem bleak and weary right now because everybody look at me and they say, "Oh, you look so good. You look like you're feeling good." And to be honest, I feel like crap. Um, from me being in the hospital, in and out the hospital for the last couple of months, and then me, being down after I got back from the DR. I have let my finances has slid, and I had to do something for my daughter twice that put me in a hole, and I can't seem like I can get out of that hole. It's like every month it's like I'm struggling to get out that hole, and I'm not gonna say I've never, but in this stage in my life I have never been at the point where I'm at now, where I'm trying to make sure that everything is taken care of and doing something that I said I would never do. um I've owned my other home since 1997, and I prided myself in not refinancing it or not getting a home equity loan in it or not doing any of those things because it's almost paid for. I think I'm like at 19,000 now left to pay for it, and I just didn't ever want to refinance or um take out a home equity loan. And now I feel like I'm at a place where I have no choice but to do it. And then they want you to take out a $75,000 against your house, and not just the minimum of 20,000. So I'm going to have to get the loan, um, use what I need from the loan, and then put all the rest of it back on the principal of the loan. That's what I'm gonna do to get out from up under the loan faster. So, so when I say that, you have to carry yourself as though how you want to feel and not the way you're feeling at that particular time, because I'm gonna tell you, depression is a mug. I mean, when I was telling you guys about me being sexually harassed at work, well, what happened is that my camp captain, he was very handsies with another sergeant and an officer. And so I guess because I hung around them, that he figured that he would be able to do the same thing to me. And so I remember it was Thanksgiving time, and I wanted to take off Thanksgiving to spend with my family because I had family coming in. We was having a family reunion around that because my grandmother's birthday was around the same time. So we was having a family reunion, and I wanted to be off. I wanted to be off. I needed to take 2 days off where I would end up having a whole week off at one time. And so he, he would make little inappropriate remarks um about, you're a nice looking young woman. And then if he saw my outline of my panties in my pants, and not because they was tight, because they was this polyester material in it, whenever it moved you saw things, saying how if he saw my penny marks on my pants and stuff. And so when I put in my vacation request, Susan said officers got fired for that when they worked at Dallas County. Yes. And so I turned in my vacation request, and this particular day, he called me in the office and he was like, do you want your vacation request approved? I said, yeah, I want my vacation request approved. And I thought he was joking. He was like, well, you got to show me your panties. You got to show me yourself in your panties. And I was like, I was laughing because I thought he was, joking. And so he was like, I was like, um, Captain, da da da. I'm not gonna say his name. You joking, right? And he was like, no. He was like, if you want this approved, you want something from me, and I want something from you. And of course, being sexually assaulted in the past, it's like I shrunk back down to that person, that vulnerable person that I was, that had allowed myself to be sexually assaulted before. And because he was my supervisor, because he was my captain, because he held my faith on whether or not I was able to spend, this time with my family, I gave in and I actually showed him. And and then after that, he would touch me inappropriately on my posterior or brush against me or make little smart comments about I know you're I wasn't married then. Oh yes, I was. I'm talking about I wasn't married then. I was married to my first husband. I'll forget about that, girl. I forget about being married to him because to me that wasn't a marriage. But it didn't last long. It didn't last no more than a couple of months, and then it was dissolved. And he was like, "Oh, I know your husband enjoy himself with you, and all little stuff like that." So it became an issue to the point where I hated to go to work. Um, I didn't talk to my husband about it because he worked at a different prison, and so I had another friend that was a lieutenant. He was cool, and so I went to him one day, and I was like, I need to talk to you some, but I needed to be off the record. And he was like, okay. Yes, Susan, that's true. Susan said it's hard to get a captain fired because they always want to have a whole lot of witnesses and stuff to that. So yes, I'm gonna tell you what happened. So I went to my what I thought was being a friendly conversation with one of my other supervisors that was real cool with me, and he was like, when I told him what was going on, he was like, you shouldn't have to go through that, I'll try to take care of it for you, yada yada yada. So I was like, okay. So of course I went home, and then the next day I came in. Um, I was greeted by the my not the captain that messed with me, but another captain, the lieutenant that I told, a female lieutenant. She was a female lieutenant at the time, and assistant superintendent for operations, which he was the second person in charge. So they all called me into the office and kind of was like trying to bully me into saying that what I said wasn't true. I was told that I was messing with a man's life, and he could possibly lose his wife and he could this could happen to him and this could happen to him, and it was like everything was revolved around him and what would happen to him, and not me being the victim what had happened to me. They was like, are you sure you want to file this? You are you sure that that's what happened, and da 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 that. And so I literally at that moment had a nervous breakdown. I had a nervous breakdown. I started crying. I started stuttering. And I was just like, I wanted to talk about this anymore. I want to go home, and I want to go home now. And so they kept saying, well, you gonna mess with this man's life and da 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 da. And I was like, I got mad, and I was like, mess with his life, and you are really or seriously sitting here telling me that I'm messing up his life when he done what he did to me. And so the two girls that I was real good friends with, they turned their back on me. A lot of the other lieutenants and captains turned their back on me. My superintendent started trying to get me fired, and it was a bad thing. I literally had a nervous breakdown. I could not talk for like 2 months. I lost all this weight, and then the husband that I was married to found out he was down at the prison that he worked at, telling everybody that he believes the other captain. He don't believe me. I mean, it was just crazy. I mean, it was just, when I think about that time in my life, and I think about what was on my mind to do, it just really freaks me out, because I'm a very strong individual, and for what had happened to me to happen, and I broke down and didn't what you say fight for myself or whatever, and that always messed with me as well. And so I was out of work for like 2 months because I couldn't talk. Like I said, I couldn't talk. Everything I would say, it was stuttering. I would just stutter. First I couldn't talk at all, and then a few words would come out, and then when other words started, it was like I was afraid that I wasn't gonna ever be able to talk again. That's how bad it got. It was horrible. And then when I went back to work, I went back to work, but I didn't get a doctor's clearance. So when I went to line up, and they didn't have me on the schedule. And after the lineup finished, they asked me, did I get a doctor's note to come back to work? And I said no. And they said, well, you got to leave. You got to leave this institution, and you got to leave it now. And so, but the captain was still on shift. So when I finally got clearance to go back to work, of course they had to move him, because they wanted to move me, of course, but I said no, I'm not getting moved. I don't feel like I should have to change my shift because of something that was done to me. So he ended up having to get his shift changed, and of course I got slack for that too. So it was just crazy. It was just a crazy time in my life. And um Renee said I would have showed him something. My tape recorder messages that I turned into commissioner. I would never meet with anyone alone that I'm not comfortable around without one. The victim is always made to feel like it's their fault. Yes, Renee. They do go after him now. If they could change Bill Cosby after all them years, you should be able to as well. I'm sure you are not the only one. No, let me tell you how God works. Now, they didn't believe that he was doing this to me. And we had another officer that worked there, and she was the opposite race. She was like, everybody looked at her as being like nasty and stuff, because she was overweight. She she just looked this straggly. She wanted to be a state trooper, but she was never going to be a state trooper. But when I went to basic training, I prayed to God and said, God, that's why I say you got to make your vision plain. I said, God, I do not want to go back there. I do not want to have to work there anymore. And I would pray that every night. God, I do not want to go back there. And so the closer I got to graduation, the harder I prayed. And of course, I injured myself, and I was at a position where I couldn't go back. I couldn't recertify. I couldn't do this. I had to come out on disability. And at first, I was crying the blues. And then I said, God gave you what you asked for. He didn't give it to you in the way that you thought he was going to give it to you, but he gave it to you. And so, with me not going back, the young lady, the other officer that was, now I was a sergeant, she was an officer, and it seemed like it would be the officer having more rank than the sergeant, but in the prison system, it's the other way around. An officer is the lowest level, and then the sergeant is above an officer, and then there's the lieutenant and the captain. And so I was a sergeant. And so, I got a phone call one day from one of my friends that worked there, and she was like, guess what? And I was like, what? She was like, Brinkley, ooh, he got in trouble again for the other female officer. She turned him in for doing the same thing to her that he did to you, and they believed her. And so he got fired when she did her case against him. They believe everything that it was from her, because, and I don't like to make this out of a race thing, but the prison I worked at was like a good old boy thing. And the African American staff had it hard to get promoted or get the good assignments or anything to that nature, because it was a good old boy system. And so because she was Caucasian, and it's more likely a Caucasian is going to tell you the truth over African American. That's what their thought was. They believed her. And so I was like, it didn't work out for me where he got fired because of me, but at least he's not going to be able to do it to nobody else. And then God works in mysterious ways. Everybody was like, you should do a hostile work environment against this person, that person, this person, and that person. And I said, no. I said, God would take care of it. God would fight my battles for me. And he did. Every last person that had something against me, one of the lieutenants was coming to work one day and had their arm out the window, and a truck came by and they lost their arm. Another lieutenant, he likes to use excessive force, so he got demoted and transferred because some stuff that he was doing. Some of the officers that I work with, they end up losing their job or getting sent to a different institution that was farther away from home. It was like every person that did something wrong to me, and even down to my ex-husband, he got in trouble and he ended up losing his job, which we were already separated by then anyway. So it was like God worked it out. God did, everything that he said he would do if we asked. And so yes, I don't have, when I think about that time in my life, I think about and being grateful that I had a grandmother and a mother that that prayed, and who I wouldn't eat. I didn't have no appetite. All I would do was lay in the bed. I was at home. My mom used to live right down the street from me, and I was home. And my daughter asked me, she wanted to paint her nails. And so I was laying in the bed, and I told her that the nail polish was on the mantle and on the fireplace mantle. And so she was like, Mommy, I can't find it. So I said, okay, Mommy coming. And I got up, and I hadn't eaten in so long that I was weak and I was lightheaded. And so down my hall, when you're going down my hall, like you go, her bedroom door is the first door, and then there's the kitchen door, then there's the dining room door, and then there was and straight in front of you was the living room door. And so I was going down the hallway and I was holding on to the wall as I went because I was so weak. And when I got to the opening for the dining room, it just, I guess it slipped my mind. I don't know what happened, but when I went there, I ended up falling, and my daughter was there, and of course she was crying and everything, and so she ran down to her grandmama house and got her grandmama and came back, and so my mom and them picked me up. My brother actually carried me and took me down to my mom's house, and that's where I stayed until this saga was over. And thanks for my husband today, because he became a part of my life in the midst of all that. And my mom, I didn't know this at the time, but my mom and my grandma would tell him, please take her out, please get her to eat, please, because I had gotten like small. I was like afraid of myself. I think I was down to a 7-8 when I left. I was at a comfortable 12, and I enjoyed being at 12. But when I went back and started getting my life back in order, I was down to a 5, 6, 7, 8, and so at one point, I was like, oh, yeah, I look good. And another point, I was like, oh, God, I look like a crackhead. And another point was like, it is what it is. And so, like I'm saying, girl, ladies and gents and fam, when you're going through, just know that, it is well. It is ladies and gentlemen, but gent is abbreviation for gentleman.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. And so everything will work itself out. You just have to build trust and believe in God that He knows your desires in your heart, and He knows what you're going through. And so like the slump I'm in right now, health wise, financially wise, I don't allow it to get me to the point where I'm so depressed. I'm a manic depressant, but I don't let my depression get to me to the point where I shut down and I can't fix what's going on. If I shut down, I can't fix it. It's just stuff going to compile and compile and compile. So I'm doing what I have to do because I know it is well. I know God's got me, and I know I am His child, and I know He hears me when I speak. So I constantly talk to Him. I talk to Him when I can't use the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom talking to Him, and like, God, please just help me. Da, da, da. I know it sounds crazy, but I confer with God a lot about a whole lot of stuff. And so yeah, guys. So when you're feeling like you don't have, yes, when you feel like you can't make it and things are the darkest of moments, you got to remember that it is well. God has you. It's just a test. And the thing that really, really helps me a lot, two things is, one, I was in church and Bishop Mom said that if you stop in the valley, if you stay in the valley, you're going to stay there, but you got to come out of the valley. That's why they say, when I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will feel no evil. And that's the key word. It says walk. You have to keep walking to get through it. But if you stay there and wallow in it and oh, woe is me, this and that, then you're never going to go through it, and you're going to always be right there in that valley. So just remember, keep moving, no matter how hard it is, no matter what it seems like, no matter who try to says that you can't do it, just keep moving and you'll get through it. And the second thing analogy is that my best friend, she was coming from Atlanta going back to South Carolina, and it was a really, really, really bad rainstorm, and the type where you couldn't see, a whole car in front of you. And she said so many cars was just pulling over to the side of the road, pulling over to the side of the road. And she said in her mindset, if I stay here on the side of the road and not press my way through it, then I'm never going to get home. I'm always going to be stuck right here. I'm going to wait right here like everybody else. And she said that, she prayed to God and asked God to guide her and be with her, throughout. And she said that little did they know that less than a mile up the road, that it was sunny, no rain had seemed like it was there. And if they would have just kept going for that little more distant, just a little while longer, they would have been out of the thick of it, and they would have been on their way to their destination. So she's like, she always says to herself now, um, if I stay here in the midst of it, I'm gonna. It's no telling how long it would be before I get to come out of it, or before I continue to finish my journey. But if I just keep going, then there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So, guys, always remember that. Always remember that. God's got you. It is well. Just keep pushing. Don't stop in the valley. Keep walking through the valley, and the things that you are asking and seeking from God, He will give it to you. He will give you the desires of heart. But please, when you talk to God, you got to make the vision plain too. Don't go in like I did and say, God, I don't want to go back there, and end up being hurt for life now, on disability for life now, because I hurt myself and I can't, go to work. And even in that, I still feel like it is well, because, I know God's got me, and I know that I feel good knowing that I don't have to punch somebody else's time clock. And so that makes me feel good. So, guys, it is our time for now, and like again, I said, apologize for um, being a little late today. And I just got to remember in my mindset, I think that's what I need to put on my alarm is a, a laptop or computer. And that way I would know that I need to go ahead and start a few minutes early in case something goes wrong like today. And I would be able to correct it and fix it. So I am getting ready to call the hospital now, so I can see about getting some stronger meds. So when my husband come in town, he can go out and get it for me before he comes in. And guys, I will. Oh, I got a DIY coming for you guys. Let me show you something. Okay, let you see those little shiny things down there, right here. Let me see if you can see this. See the sparkle in it? I got something coming for you guys with that. I have something and I can't wait. I'm super stoked. I was recording it, and of course, I had to let the pieces dry, and they dried the way I wanted them to. So I can't wait to put it all together and bring it to you guys. And so until then, guys, remember to stay gorgeous. Remember, it's just a walkthrough, and it is well. God's got you. Keep moving. Don't stop in the valley, because in the valley you're going to find regret. You're going to find worry. You're going to find disappointment. All those things in the valley you will find. But just think about it. if you walk through that, on the other side, there's peace, there's joy. And I'm not talking about being dead. I'm talking about living and having peace and joy and well-being and all those things, because guys have heaven right here on earth. So don't wait to enjoy life and enjoy your heaven, because you can have a heaven here on earth, and you can have a heaven in your father's house when he decides to take you home. So yes, guys, thank you for all the people that always come faithfully. I know that from things in life, that as long as you stay the course and you are consistent, that growth will come. And this channel growth is coming slow. And I think what I'm going to do is a little bit of vlogging on this channel to have more content to be loaded, so it won't be just one upload a week. And so I think I'm going to do some vlogs and load them up on this channel as well, so that people that comes and find the channel won't just see the once a week post. And until we get our subscribers up to where I can go live. And yeah, so look at I got this bruise on my arm from IVs right there. Right there. And I was like, and it just won't go away. But anyway, anywho, guys, I enjoyed talking to you today. I hope this conversation has helped somebody, and that if you know somebody that need this word, direct them over here to our channel, and so that they can benefit from what we talked about here, and as well as other topics of conversations we're talking about, because we are not the only ones that are going through this. There's so many people out there that needs to hear not just my advice, but what the word says, and advice just needs a sisterhood of people to be with them when they're going through. I mean, it's nothing like having sisters that you can call on and talk to when you're going through trials and tribulations. And that's what I want this channel to be like. I want it to be like we're sisters and we're hanging out and we're talking about, what's going on in our lives, and each one of us are telling each other, how they handle it and what they would, that's what I want this channel to be about. Because on the DIY channel, it's kind of hard for me to get to know you guys on a personal level, when even if I'm doing a live, when I do the live on Saturday, because I'm trying to do the project and I can't do the project and read the comments all at one time. So that's why I brought this over the Diva's Talk Time over here, so that we can become a more intimate group, and talk about some of the life things that get us down, and things about being a woman that I think we all can benefit from knowing. I am not from all in any way, manner, shape, or form a professional at any of this. I just talk from what I know and from things what's happened to me, and I speak on my truth. And I pray that my truth will help you with your truth and what you're going through. So I will see you guys on Saturday live on Design on a Dollar. And I will see you guys next week over here on Monday on Divas Talk Time. But on Design on a Dollar in the next couple of days or so, if not on the next day or so, you will have another DIY up on that channel. And so, guys, I enjoy talking to you once again, and I will talk to you again real soon. I love you guys, and thank you for the sisterhood. Bye-bye.